Hello and welcome back to our Power Boost. One fast and safe way and very quick, guaranteed way to boost our energy is to think about solutions. There's so many things happening in our lives, moment after moment. Our days are very full. We have many interactions, many tasks to carry out. And a lot also happens during that time. There is, when we react, when we lose the connection with the self, we get easily over-involved in the lives and matters and stories and the performance of others, whether it is home, at work. And so it's very easy to, go into argumentation, conflicts get created. It's easy for us to get upset, annoyed. We are all very familiar with that. But then also, if I do not have a plan for my mind, for myself, how to respond, how to deal at a conscious level with whatever is coming in front of me or showing up in front of me. Sometimes things also just emerge from within. So if I don't have a plan, I'm just carried away by what is happening and by the moods and the stories and the problems that I see, that people tell me about, and so on and so forth. One way to think is, and that's a very safe way also, whatever happens, how quickly can I just put a stop to it, or listen with a sense of detachment, with a sense of where there's an awareness about myself and also the awareness, okay, this person is now sharing this, is doing this, but I'm also aware of my own existence, of my own presence, of my own qualities and talents and strengths. So that is a very important aspect. And typically when I can hold myself in that awareness and in that connection with my inner self, the true self, the pure self, the self that carries all the goodness, in a very natural way, my thinking and my thought process is towards a solution. But when I'm disconnected from my own self, when I am too much involved, all my attention and thought energy is focused and is focused on the outside, but then also we think a lot about the past, what happened, we are worried, we get anxious. So a lot of energy is also used up by thinking about the future and by this energy of worry. And so the more I am able to stay connected with myself and connected with the goodness within myself, being aware of my own inner greatness, we will be able to actually connect with what is good in the other one, if it is expressed or not. And as I just said, then in this way, we would typically and naturally think of solutions instead of, further engaging, getting involved or lost in the problem or in the situation, in the story, people's stories. And so when that disconnect happens, we are disconnected also from our own goodness, and the mind then, and the attention goes to what is wrong, what it has gone wrong, what is not the way it should be. We get easily irritated, the mind gets easily agitated. And if we don't pay attention on the self, that's where we lose our energy, and that's where we cause a great loss for the self. But if I, for example, make a plan, I think about it, and then I make a promise to myself, to God, I make a plan, I have that determination that whatever happens, how quickly can I just, in my mind, put a stop to it? And instead of, going down, create a thought, what is it that I can do to contribute to make it better? Most of the times we are not able to solve problem situations right away, especially not if it is not my own problem, or, if it's about other people. And it's not my task also to solve it. But what is it that I can contribute to make things better, to maybe make that person feel better? Maybe the person needs a little bit of hope, some encouragement. To have that sense of also what is needed, what is appropriate in this particular moment. I need to be connected to myself, again, to the goodness within myself, because in this case, my decision power will also work well. It will work in a way where my thinking is towards the benefit of everyone. The thinking goes towards creation, being constructive, to uplift, to bring benefit, to make someone smile, to help someone to, maybe you find some comforting words and which are of great service for the other person. But it requires that sensitivity, that discernment of what is needed, instead of just projecting my own thinking or believing about that person, about that situation on the other person. So we don't have to figure out others, but we have to have the sense of what that being in front of me might need right now. And we always can take the help of God. Just one thought towards God, the benefactor, the ocean of peace, the ocean of love. And you will see that some inspiration, some pure thought will emerge from that. And I can speak a word of hope, a word of kindness, the way I look at the person. But then there are also many situations, many times, where the most appropriate, even beneficial action is silence, when I don't say anything. But that would be then also a silence where I don't suppress something within myself, or my mind is still busy, maybe judging, maybe blaming, maybe, having some kind of wasteful thoughts about the other person, what the other person is saying. No, it is a silence that is very soothing, very comforting for the self. A silence where I am connected to my own inner goodness, the goodness of the inner being, the goodness of the soul. And in that inner, quiet, silent environment, I actually have good wishes, pure feelings from my heart for the betterness of the other being, for the betterness of the situation. Sometimes we are not receptive or not so well receptive to hear, to listen. But if we get a more silent support, a support of vibrations, of pure thoughts. Every thought creates vibrations, attitude creates vibrations, positive or negative. And these vibrations, even though we don't say anything, they go into the atmosphere. So we are creating a kind of presence through our way of thinking, the attitudes we hold, what we feel, how we feel. And so if I go into this cave of introversion for a moment and emerge my own innate goodness, I move into my sacred space and experience some peace. Now these vibrations will then also vibrate into the atmosphere and become a subtle support for the other person. And of course, there is also that intention that these pure vibrations, these good wishes are for that being, for that other person, to help them. Whenever we think about, when we think about solution or towards a solution, the mind starts to work into that direction, and that will take me away from going down. There are lots of problems, there are big problems, lots of situations, people do all sorts of things. But even my own self, we are also not perfect. We also make mistakes, right? Smaller ones, bigger ones. And again, I can apply the same method. This happened. Can I accept it? Full stop. But what is it that I can do now, in this moment, and in the next moment, to make it better? And the more honesty we have towards the self, towards the others, we have to acknowledge what is going on, what has happened, and consciously put a stop. For that, I really, deep within my own self, I have to be interested and have to be connected to a value that is of great value for me. For example, peace, kindness, harmony, respect, unity. Now, if I want to feel good, if I want to be positive, it's something that I have to choose. And if I really want that, any moment I can make that choice. And that's where the mind, where I then start to think, and the mind will work towards a solution. That does not mean we have to solve things, but I can contribute. My pure thoughts and pure feelings will be a contribution. And who knows, when the solution will be found. But also when we are calm and quiet and when we have good thoughts, then we are able to receive, we are connected with the intuition, and our thinking is much cleaner and clearer. And so all of that will help to find solutions, whatever the solution is. Yeah. So the moment I think of solution, my mind starts to work upward, towards the positive, towards the light. And it's deeply connected with what is it really that I want deep within my own self. Am I ready to be happy? Am I ready am I willing to connect to peace and to be peaceful and to be kind, even though it's not expressed around us? So let's do a short meditation. So just come back to yourself, let go of the surrounding, and bring the attention all the way back to you, to the center of your forehead. As we turn within, connecting to what is good, beneficial, to my strengths, to my talents, to the peace, kindness, love that is within the inner being. I'm aware of my goodness. I appreciate who I am. I appreciate and I'm grateful of all the goodness that is within, what I have received in life, what is going on in my life. Even though there are challenges, there's always somewhere a hidden benefit. But if I remain grateful and appreciate, my heart remains open. I'm connected or reconnect to the core of my being. And there's great interest to find solutions instead of dwelling on the problem. To find solutions, I have to think at a higher level than the energy which created a problem. Connecting to my innate goodness, stepping away from all the physical, and just for one moment remembering the essence, the core, the heart of the being. Brings me back and allows me to actually think positive, think into a direction where there is benefit, upliftment, encouragement, hope. Problems will always exist, problems will always be there. But where do I want to be? Even though the problem, the situation is outside. But the solution has to come from within, from a higher consciousness. A consciousness that is spiritual and an awareness of what is good within myself. Only then can I and will I have the strength to also connect with the goodness, the positive, the possibility. What is possible? Om Shanti.